Philadelphia. So, Stan, we couldn't make it happen in Scranton, but we can make it happen right now. And
Yes.
the Eagles are not fucking around, which is great. I've been camping all weekend. We come back. There's massive amount of news, and you just said something spectacular. It's something that I don't think anybody in the NFL has learned yet. So, quick impressions with this Jalen Phillips trade, and then we'll get into everything else.
Yeah, don't answer the phone for Howie Roseman, ever. Because he finds a way to convince you that, hey, you have a good player, we want him. Trade him to us, and also eat part of his salary, too.
Yeah, not just part of it, by the way. You're eating, 97% of his contract, $6 million that the Dolphins are picking up just so they can get a third-round pick, which the Eagles are going to more than likely recoup because, Stan, I don't know about you, but I have high hopes about this particular trade. We'll get to the other two, and I'm going to stuff Jair Alexander down your throat. Don't even think I'm not going to let you go away without that. However, you have a great relationship with Vic Fangio. You're paying him $500,000 to go find out. If he does what I think he's going to do, which is end up being the sack leader on the edge, then you're either going to have a problem solved for next year or the third round comp pick coming right back to you. Because if he pans out here for a Super Bowl team, we've already seen what happens. Milton Williams is a perfect example of this.
The big thing you could take from it, too, is it's a good replacement for Aziz being on IR.
100%.
You fill that need right away. And then, I after this happened, of course, you got to go on PFF, look up the numbers and stuff. One of the biggest things with Jalen Phillips that people aren't talking about is, out of all edge rushers in the NFL, he's 6th overall in solo tackles. What has been one of the biggest issues we've had this year as a team is just tackling guys in open field. So if he can stop that when we're going against a good running team where they're not going to get to the outside and get that edge because he's going to be there and he can wrap them up and even just hold them there till someone can come help him, because he's also 4th overall in assists of all edge rushers.
If you start thinking about, sorry if this is where you were going, Stan, in terms of Nolan Smith coming back from IR, now you've got two guys that can really anchor that, and specifically, I didn't look at PFF, so thank you for confirming what my eyes were telling me, but this son of a bitch sets the edge just as hard as Nolan Smith does, and you've got a little excitement in my phone, I'm sorry about that. I think when both of those guys are coming back, that's going to really help, Jordan Davis even stand out even more. I just feel like they're going to solve many of what you were kind of describing. It just felt like there wasn't a lot of closers out there. Jalen Phillips is a closer, and the reason why we're not probably jumping for joy right now is the health thing. He's missed quite some time between 21 and 23. He hasn't missed a game this season. So do you get the feeling that this is a long-term move? Because I do. And if you look at it that way, this looks like a fleece almost.
Long term, I could definitely see if, when his deal comes up, if the numbers work out, because, cap considerations and everything, and depending on, other players that they have to re-sign at the time, you got to look at that. But the thing is, too, it's, you look at this year, I have guys I work with who are big Eagles fans, and one of the big ones they always bring up is Rodgers. They were complaining how he didn't sign. It's like another team comes in with a better offer. Nine out of 10 times the player's going to take the better offer. First and foremost, it's a business. And, I think as long as the Eagles make him a respectable offer, it could be a long-term thing. And I think if Vic stays around, that will make him a lot more flexible on the offer, because like you said, it seems like this relationship he has with Vic is a big thing for getting him wanting to come to Philly, but also those years he had with Vic, he had fantastic years. So Vic knows how to use him in ways that are going to make him a better player and make him show out as a better player to the rest of the league.
That is what we started talking about, is how he kind of looks at all this and goes, I can pick that off in a couple of weeks, I can pick that off in a couple of weeks, and that's what this feels, kind of like with Michael Carter. All of these guys are desperate to get out of their situations. The Dolphins, I wouldn't want to be there anyway. Michael Carter drops all of his bonus money to make sure that he's there, and yes, he's been touched by Joe Douglas, and that scares me too, but it gives the Eagles options, and these types of players that look at the situation of what we just talked about, guys getting to the Super Bowl, getting to the playoffs, making an impact, leaving the next year with their pockets full of money. That is what I think Howie Roseman has done the best, as much as we are complaining about where is that Isaiah Rodgers help? Why did we let go of so many edge and defensive tackles for depth when clearly they could have been using that right now? Going through this cycle again every year where getting Uche's, you're getting Aziz's to make it through the first half of the season, then you're looking for these types of deals by the deadline. You reset this again in the offseason. I know it's funky, and we have a right to complain about all of this stuff in the beginning beginning of the season. But in terms of big picture, I think I'm right back to, oh no, they are doing the NBA style thing again, right? With
That's
Michael Carter
actually what
coming
I
in here
was
too.
about to refer to is when you said about the NBA style, because you see this and you have these teams where they go hard building in the offseason. You have a lot of these teams where they spend money and like, okay, look at Minnesota. Minnesota, good shot. They're not going to do anything this year. JJ McCarthy, glad they beat on the Lions over the weekend, helped us out. But, you're seeing now that these short-term deals and these, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word, band-aid moves, when your team has a need and you see a weakness develop throughout the season, it seems to me like for the NFL now, that's a better way to run an organization than try to lock everyone up for long-term deals and just, well, let's hope for the next 5 years this guy performs like he did the last 2 years.
Well, everything that fell out in front of the Eagles this season probably was a good reminder of why not to do that, why not to hang on to for any of the moves that we liked or didn't like. CJGJ, by the way, had a really good game with the Bears yesterday, and it's the Bengals, and it's crazy. But these types of things, like, I think it's just more me having to reshift my focus on exactly what you said. Like, we're not looking for the next superstars, and moves like these only make me feel better about how the organization and everybody feels about Jalen Hurts. Because, well, yes, we don't have Isaiah Rodgers. Yes, we could have been more of a superpower defense this year if you really wanted to. But you've got Jalen Hurts to make up for that. And we have never been able to say that as a fan base, maybe ever. And like, we can debate whether we said that about McNabb. I don't remember that happening ever. Granted, I'm putting a lot of faith into, like, Phillips working out a lot better than he did with the Dolphins. And if it doesn't, then yeah, it's not going to feel great. But you still have these shots to take in the lottery. You can still go find your next Jahad Campbell, your next Cooper DeJean, because, again, the 8 picks, you're not giving up anything in day 1 or day 2. And as long as you're not doing that in this type of team, like, there's not much else to fill in other than to look for these types of deals. And just let's get into Michael Carter for a little bit, because at first, probably like most people, I got really excited. I was going, Cooper DeJean, CB2, fuck yeah. And then they signed Jair and go, all right, maybe not so much. But I still think I'm sticking to my heels here. In the same way that I look at Jalen Phillips, I kind of look at Michael Carter the same way. If he's healthy, he's fantastic. And maybe he's not. That's just true of anybody. He's not going to help your team. In terms of, you can't take away Cooper because of his tackling ability, Michael Carter has that in spades. I would feel so comfortable in many different looks. And here's a big reason why. I have no idea where we stand on this. It's not really about Cooper or anybody else. They need to find a spot now for Jahad Campbell. This makes it incredibly hard to use Jahad Campbell as a full-time player, and maybe they don't want to do that with the current situation. Kobe Dean looks great. Don't want to replace him on rundowns, or maybe any down, to be honest with you. I don't want him there at edge. Now you have Phillips there, and like I said, Nolan Smith is coming back. What the fuck do you do with Jahad Campbell?
I think their biggest fear is by keeping Jahad Campbell active and, in the starting lineup and not so much as a rotational player like we've seen with Vic, and, it seems like how he likes to develop defensive players is. I think they want to take the pressure off Jahad Campbell a little bit, give him time to kind of sit into a role a little more, take these veterans and be like, hey, watch what he does. Because then I think, too, like, that's a big reason they brought BG back, is to go to a young player like Jahad Campbell and be like, listen, calm down. I know you want to be out there, you want to make every play, but the plays are going to come to you. You have to learn how to play this level of the game before you're going to be a superstar.
I am totally fine with that approach, by the way. And I know Jahad is going to be comfortable in the second year. We're hoping the same for Makuba, too. But it's weird to me to take the pressure off of Jahad Campbell and continuously put it on a guy like Makuba. Now you're just telling him, I hope CB2 gets worked out, too, man. Because I don't think we factored that in with his rookie season either. He's had to rotate 3 or 4 different guys that are there. So I'm not giving him a pass. I have the same concerns that probably you and everybody else does.
Yeah.
But if you're not putting the pressure back on Jahad Campbell to do something now, I think it's such a wasted opportunity. Like, put that guy in coverage somewhere all of the time, even if you're in base or whatever it is. I need to see a different example of where he can be used.
One of the biggest things you always see when you have any type of outside linebacker who is going to be successful in this league is playing coverage in the flat. And one thing I literally at least once a game in the Discord, I go, well, there it is. We got beat in the flat again. Because Every team throws into the flat, and we can't do a thing about it. There's gaps. Reed's either drifting to the complete opposite side of the field and then trying to run back and make up space. I think the biggest thing is it's just they bring him out, going into your nickel and your dimes, and be like, listen, this zone of the flat is yours. If anyone comes near there, blow it up. That's all we need you to do.
And that's fine.
You get one skill set developed, and then it's like, okay, you know what? This week we're going to have you work on your pass rush a little more. You're going to rotate in on the edge a little more. Because I definitely think, like everyone, when he got drafted, hyped up, you look at him, you look at his college tape, he's an athlete, he can play flat, he can play coverage, he can edge rush. You're seeing that, and then he comes in, and you're just like, well, why aren't we seeing that anymore? And the thing is I think he can get back to that point. It's just they have to work him in a way where it's like, okay, we're not going to ask you to do everything right now in a game. We're going to ask you to focus on one area of your game.
Yeah, again, the same, completely agree. I just don't understand the pressure right back on Makuba when he's clearly needs the Jahad Campbell help right now. So I'm curious how Vic and everybody else manages all this in the next couple of weeks. And let's talk about my boy real quick, because, man, fuck you guys. That's what I'm going to say right now. I am so excited to be right about Jair Alexander. I cannot wait, because no one expected the Baltimore Ravens to be this bad. No one. On opening night, everyone's mouth went, it's the Ravens' year. Since that point in time, it's been a downhill roller coaster. So, same expectations. I don't expect anything. They got a better value for trading. Or is that right? They swapped 6th and 7th and they got the 6th? Or do I have that backwards?
Let me see. I could actually look at right now, see what it was.
Stan's going to tell us, but either way, that is a nothing trade, first of all, and you and I know that. If he gets cut, it's not a big deal. But what does that tell you about the guy that they traded for already? What does that tell you about Ja'Cory Bennett? What does that tell you about Ringo and
Jair Alexander and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Eagles in exchange for a 6th-round pick?
Yeah, it's a nothing burger in terms of value. And I use CJ as the example. He went through, 2 teams this year already before he found the Bears, and he looks like, okay, this looks like a good spot for me. I think this should be happening more often in the NFL, and I think it is because of compensatory picks. But right fit, right guy, right system, There's only 32 teams. Half of these people are dumb. Then half of the owners are dumb. He clearly has injury history. But again, a guy that can play in and outside, another guy that you can use his versatility on some downs, not all the time, which is exactly where you want to be. I guess it really is that Vic Fangio doesn't value CB2 in his defense, and I've heard that a few times, and I'm starting to believe it.
The biggest thing I like about Jair Alexander, because I remember every time we would play him, was he reminds me a lot of Coop with he was always very physical, and I think that, especially in today's NFL, you need cornerbacks who are willing to be physical. How many do you see where it's like they go to make a tackle, and it's doing the shoulder dive at the guy, hoping for the best, and it's like you bounce off their hip. It's like, I want a guy who's going to come up and hit someone in the nose. Like I said, as Eagles fans, we're all biased. We all came up with Brian Dawkins playing secondary and laying people out, so that's what we expect to see in a secondary. But Jair Alexander, I think what happened with him is he just, Baltimore, he just got buried in their depth chart, and they didn't know how to use him as, an extra body. He went there hoping to get a ring, and then it's like, well, that's not going to happen, so let's see what we can do to get him out of here.
And he wasn't playing great either. I don't want to say like, oh, he was just missing a few things. No, he was playing like absolute dog shit. He was getting run around like an asshole. Baltimore's defense has looked like that all year, though. It's just getting back to like, okay, this looks normal again. But man, it went through stretches where it looked like the Eagles' offense. It's like, what the fuck is this? At best here, you are getting an Adoree Jackson who can tackle when he's healthy, and he's not going to stay healthy. I'm already telling you that he's not going to stay healthy. He's also not going to start. So again, this mix of Makuba or not. Oh yeah, no, I'll throw him in there too. This mix of like Makuba, Jair Alexander, Carter, DeJean shuffling between safeties and nickels. It looks to me that's what they're kind of building between that and just depth alone. Because again, I don't think you're just keeping these guys on roster spots and then healthy scratching them, keeping them around, or ending up on the practice squad.
And I mean, let's be honest. If it keeps Sidney Brown off the field, it's a win.
Well, shouldn't that tell us everything too? Like, Makuba's dying out there sometimes, and they're like, nah, let him die. Anything but Sidney Brown, which I appreciate. So, well, Stan, obviously we want to talk about a couple more things as Jay Glazer's informing us as well that the Eagles might not be done, whatever that means. But I can't imagine them not taking another swing on like another pass rusher, as long as it's somewhere between the 5th and 7th
as long as it's reasonable. I mean, because like I was going through, I'm like looking, I'm like, okay, I'm like, maybe maybe something offensive, but I'm like, there's really nothing out there. And then it's like, you look at our offense, because I actually mentioned it in the Discord earlier this morning. I said, you know what? I'm like, I was thinking about the other day. We had AJ Dillon healthy last game, didn't do a thing. Tank Bigsby healthy, running great. I said, remember the old wishbone and flexbone set? I was like, could you imagine Saquon Barkley, AJ Dillon, and Tank Bigsby in the backfield together? What a defense is going to have to do.
Yes, and that is the surefire way to piss off A.J. Brown, and I'm not saying that I'm for that, but I want to see wishbone, flexbone if you've got all these dudes in there, yes.
As I said, you put A.J. Dillon and Tank Bigsby, then you motion Saquon to the outside, and then it's like run an RPO where it's like, hey, if they all commit to the run, Saquon's on the edge to take a pass. If they don't, you have A.J. Dillon or Tank Bigsby who can just maul through guys. And it's just
dude, you're right. I just thought of the jumbo package with the wishbone. Like, you're bringing out Fred. You're basically running 23 personnel with an offensive tackle or Latu, either one, and run wishbone that way. Yes, man. Yes. And I heard Nate Gary and a couple others talk about that, by the way. Like, I think that is why in today's NFL, and I hate to keep bringing his name up, but it's impossible not to, like, A.J. Brown is frustrated because all of the zone beaters go to Devontae Smith. Mm-hmm. All the man beaters go to A.J. Brown. And if the defense is constantly in that two shell, there is fucking nothing for A.J. Brown to do in this offense with all these different players. So, like, at the same time, it's where the most NFL defenses are the weakest. Like, if it's kind of back to, like, if you're running two tight ends, that's the most effective thing for your passing game right now.
It almost falls under that whole, like, embarrassment of riches where it's like, well, AJ, I'm sorry we can't make you happy, but we have other weapons here that we can use just as well from what the looks we get on defenses that, like, we would love to give you the ball more. It's just the defense isn't productive to it.
And we can't put a square peg in a round hole, bud. So give me all the flex and wishbone that you can with those three gentlemen on the field. Or if somebody really wants A.J. Dillon right now and makes it a sweetener for a trade, I'm down for that too. Couple of quick thoughts on the rest of the NFL slate from Sunday. One, I'm hesitating to say this, but Joe Flacco carving up the Bears makes me respect Joe Burrow a lot less. Those fraud Packers losing to the Panthers made me so happy. And shout out to Coach Trey, too, for getting that win. I have found a newfound hate for Matt LaFleur, just for all his bitching. He bashed Halloween like 2 weeks ago or last week when he's saying, I don't celebrate holidays and I'm just a tough football guy. And I don't know. I hate that team more and more. Between the Tush Push band and everything else, I was so happy to see the Panthers win.
I hate to bring it up because we always get it. They're fans.
I don't mind their fans, honestly.
Most of the Packers fans I know, I have one cousin who's a Packers fan. He's all right. Most of the Packers fans that I've known growing up, no matter what it is, they can win 4 games in a season, and whoever their he should be MVP. I'm like, Jordan Love is a decent quarterback. Jordan Love never going to be the league MVP, depending on how bad the rest of the NFC North is. He might take them deep into the playoffs one year, but I think that's what made Green Bay look good. Was the NFC North, besides the Lions the last few years, has been pretty average, and now you're seeing the NFC North as a whole is starting to have a bit of a resurgence, and then it's like, hey, we're not top of the pile anymore.
It just looks so stale. The injuries don't help them, obviously, too. Yeah. That's two big ones for them that we'll get into later on in the week, but seriously, the Panthers have been playing better ever since they made the changes, but if you're going to say all that stuff, especially that whoever said that it could go undefeated right before they were playing Dallas, and now to look at like their trajectory and where they're headed, I don't know. Maybe they end up missing the playoffs. The Bears don't look good, but they keep winning games.
Yeah.
Like you said, I can't wait to make fun of them. I think the Eagles are going to absolutely destroy them this week. More importantly, we tried to tell every Commanders fan. We tried to tell them. I'm not going to kick a man while he's down because that was a horrific thing to see with Jaden Daniels' elbow, and thank God I was asleep because I would have turned it off anyway after the 24-point second quarter from the Seahawks. But, man, you just kind of sit back and go, holy shit, the 20-year curse is finally going to break. The Eagles are going to win the division again for the second year in a row, and this is starting to feel like the Andy Reid years again. You know, if we can't say dynasty without saying, well, you're going to win the NFC East every single year, and shit on me, man. I just can't believe it's here. We got everything that we wanted. This has been a very bumpy road, but, man.
You got to look at Dan Quinn and be like, at that point, why is he still playing? Some people say that's a loser mentality, but it's like at the same time, when this is the future of your franchise, you have to protect him.
Defensive coaches, man.
Yeah.
Every time they do something stupid. And now, Jaden Daniels is going to get the RG3 tag no matter what. And it's not the same thing because, Jesus, you sent him out there on on one leg. But this is pretty close, you know. You had all these good things. Josh Harris rushed all this shit again. He put all these old dudes to protect his franchise. And bingo bongo, everybody in the NFC East just decided to crumble all of their chips into fucking dust. Micah Parsons gets sent to the Packers, which clearly is not going to help the Packers. Like, it's the same problem. It's great that Micah Parsons is getting all these sacks and accolades in Dallas. Does it help them win a title? No, it does not. So the Packers basically replicate that. And I'm starting to change my mind with Jerry Jones. Can you fucking believe that? I think they overpaid. I think they overpaid for Micah Parsons. It's not going to fix your offense. It's not going to get a number one wide receiver out there. That's what they need more than anything. Like, yes, it improves the defense, but not if you're not like this. Who cares if you're in a dogfight 13-13 with the fucking Carolina Panthers? Who cares if you can't score? I love this, Dan. I wish I wouldn't be so goddamn reactionary to Nick Sirianni's slow starts. I wish I could control that thing in my Eagles brain, because if we didn't, this would be perfect. Everything else worked out exactly how we wanted it to for the most part.
One of the things I brought up in the Discord the night we lost to the Giants, the day we lost to Denver, is everyone forgets the first 4 weeks of last year. The first 4 weeks of last year were a nightmare. Everyone was expecting, oh my God, and everyone started bringing up, it's 2023 all over again. But the thing is for some reason, and I don't know if it's just they're very casual and lax preseason, camp, like they kind of just take it easy. But those first 4 weeks are their preseason while they're trying to get everything figured out. And, that's where it's, I know Nick is the head coach and Nick's going to, run it, but like that's where you kind of wish you had a veteran like offensive coordinator, because I think Vic just deals with the defense. He doesn't deal with anything else on the team. But it's like you need an assistant coach there to go, Nick, we really got to work on things in the preseason, because every year we're scrambling in the beginning of the season to figure out, hey, this is what our scripted plays are in the beginning. This is what our offensive identity is. Hey, are we a run first team? Are we a pass first team? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I guess that's what I should be saying. Is like, I'm glad that you can figure it out. It's still not fucking worth it. Knock it off.
Yeah.
I can't look at all this shit. And to me, I think, I don't know. I don't want to say Nick is fixing this. Howie's fixing a lot of this too. 6-2, and everybody is burning their teams down indirectly, which is just awesome. So thank you for keeping the faith for us. Slap me around next time, even harder if I start to doubt Jalen Hurts, because that's essentially what I am saying now. We can complain about coaching and everything else. Jalen Hurts is the one that turned this around yet again, and I'm still tingly on we're not fucking losing anymore.
And let's be honest. We embrace playing from under center again. We're going against 90% of what the rest of the NFL does, and it's working.
Yes. Do you think they hold on to that playbook, by the way? What we saw 2 weeks ago?
I think you have to. After the performance last week, as soon as we got under center, we have a running game again. And I think the big thing of running plays from under center with our running game is, with Saquon, the big problem is he's seen the line start to collapse as he's getting the ball. So he was trying to make cuts in the backfield. Whereas when he's under center, by the time the line's starting to break down, he's already through the hole and gone.
Exactly. It forces that guy up, and then it just leaves him one-on-one if he does break through that gap. Exactly. Yeah. It's just kind of what we saw against a terrible Giants defense. So, well, Stan, any other things before we go, man? This has been It's been a great morning talking to you, brother. I'm sorry we couldn't do it in person in Scranton. I hope you and the wife are doing good. Any predictions for the Packers game?
I honestly think it's gonna be a win, but I think this might be the game where they finally silence the AJ Brown drama. I think AJ might go off in this game.
I think it's another Saquon game.
I think you do. I think you're going to see your Packers initially go to defend against Saquon after that last game, and that's where AJ's going to make his plays, and then the run game's going to open up a little bit more in the second half, just to kind of keep putting the nail in the coffin. Another game where Tanner McKee is in the fourth quarter.
I think that's what's going to happen, honestly. I see where you can kind of keep Devontae and AJ happy if you're going to run most of it under center and go into those jumbo packages. I actually kind of think it makes the tension a little easier because, like, AJ's going to get his one-on-one opportunities. Yeah. That's how you get AJ one-on-one opportunities. So I'm just going like, guys, what the fuck is the holdup? Maybe AJ's just pissed to get to this point, and that's just it. He's just being a big man baby about it, just like I am. If anything, I would lean towards your wishbone, flexbone idea against the Packers defense and just do like you normally do with Micah Parsons. Just go run right at him, take care of the rest of those guys because the Packers defense doesn't scare me at all. It's gotten better, sure. It looks pretty bad. Knowing what the Eagles can do to it. So I'm excited for that. More trade deadline stuff will probably happen as well, and we'll catch you on the other side. Thanks as always, Stan.
All right, take care.
thanks yous as always. Yeah, thank you as always, Dan.